Hello Perfect Beauties, my name is Daisy and today I just wanted to give you guys an update on my life and not about my health issues, not that I really have that many health issues, but just to give you guys an update. Recently I have started incorporating a plant-based diet, or more like a vegan diet. Now, I was never really into the whole vegan craze. I never really got into that. I thought people are vegans or hippies and they were very cult-like, and you know, they would wear Birkenstocks and shop at Whole Foods, and I was just not about that life. But what happened was, you guys know that I get migraines a lot. So if you haven't seen that video, I can link to my migraine story, which was last week's video. But also, I went to Europe for a month in May, and it should have been such a blast. It should have been so much fun. But the entire time I was there, I had really bad allergies. My nose was like it was like a running spout of snot coming down, and it was so red from using tissue, and I actually sprung like a muscle in my neck from sneezing too hard. And it really impacted the quality of the trip, and I just felt like this was supposed to be such a fun trip, but because of these allergies I had, I did not enjoy myself as much as I could have. Looking back on that, you know, I'm trying to think about what's important in my life, and now I'm a little bit more established. Like, I'm not like a broke college student living off ramen and day-old frozen pizza and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes I will splurge, and I can afford to buy a, designer handbag or, nice things now in my life. But to me, it doesn't bring me happiness. I was actually looking at Chanel purses, and the idea of having one is nice, but for whatever reason, I just feel like $5 grand on my shoulder is not gonna make me happy. And what will make me happy, I think something that will make me happy is being able to enjoy the time that I have with people, enjoy my life, and enjoy, being with people I love, falling in love, going on trips, traveling. But I can't do that if I have migraines all the time, if I have allergies all the time, if I have all these headaches and constant issues with my health. And these aren't even huge issues. But I really wish that I could have enjoyed that trip without feeling sick the entire time. And I really wish that I didn't have to cancel a lot of social events and work and appointments from getting migraines. So I've been really into trying to figure out what is causing all these things. So I went to San Francisco, and there I took an Uber ride. If you guys don't know what Uber is basically somebody who's driving their car, and you just use an app, and then they come pick you up and drop you off. So it's like taxi service but on demand, but it's with real people, not taxi drivers driving. So I do have a code for $20 off your first ride if you're interested, down below. But during that Uber ride, the lady there was going this whole spiel of how she had cancer 10 years ago, how she went to chemo, radiation, she took all these medicines, she saw these doctors, and she was in debt from so much hospital bills, and her cancer didn't go away. And so she was so sick of being so sick and so weak from the chemo that she was like, I don't want to live my life, the last years of my life, being this sick. And so she actually got out of the hospital, stopped doing all the treatments, stopped taking the medicines, and she said she only ate plants for an entire year. So she stopped eating meat, she stopped eating dairy, eggs, and stopped taking all these medicines, and lived just a better lifestyle, right? And she said within a year her cancer went away, and she's been cancer free for 5 years, and no medicine or treatment could have done that. And she just said, it's amazing how doctors don't prescribe a plant-based diet, because they're not incentivized to do that, because the hospital can't bill for, you going and eating fruits and vegetables, right? Obviously they want to, charge for their services. And she was just enraged and just going on the whole spiel about it. And, I thought she was crazy at first, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, this woman's talking nonsense. But after I thought about it, I realized that, she has no incentive to say anything other than you know, other than what she has gone through, right? And I started talking to people, and I actually went to a beauty blogger event, and a lot of the girls there were vegetarian or vegan, and they were saying how when their husbands started going vegan or vegetarian, or when they started, their headaches started to go away and they lost a lot of weight. And also something that I've been not really struggling with, but kind of struggling with, is my weight. I am by no means heavy. I by no means do not love my body, but I've always been really skinny growing up. I've never had an issue with my weight. I've always was known as a skinny girl, and all my friends would just call me like the girl who eats everything and never gets fat, right? But recently, in the past few years, I've noticed my stomach being bloated all the time, and I just feel like I can't wear certain dresses or things without wearing Spanx, right? And I know that's normal for most people, but asking my parents and, you know, looking at their photos, my mom was like 98 pounds and 5'4" when she was my age after having me, and my dad was very similar, very, very thin and muscular, very, very thin, no stomach on either one of them. Like, their stomachs go in instead of out. So I'm thinking, like, obviously genetically, like, I'm supposed to have a thinner body than I actually do now, and I don't know, I wish I could have that body that my parents had, you know, and they ate healthy, they exercised, was active, and I'm trying to think of, you know, the biggest environmental factor that I can control, because obviously if I am predisposed to heart disease or breast cancer, I can't control that, but I can control other things, right? My environment. And if you think about your environment, what is the biggest factor to your environment? Well, the water we drink is probably good for us, right? Because if you're able to watch this YouTube video, I'm pretty sure you have like running good water to drink. And the air that we breathe, I mean, okay, LA is not always the best, but the biggest environmental factor that we can control is our diet, right? And thinking back to my parents' generation and my generation, that is the only thing that is really different, because I do exercise a lot. I exercise very frequently. So I just thought, hey, you know, why not do more research into nutrition? I started reading a lot of books. I've been reading the China study. It's the largest like longitudinal nutrition study done. I've been reading Dr. McDougall's like plant-based diet, and there's another doctor, I forgot his name, starts with an F, I'll put it link below, and also nutrition.org and a lot of other nutrition channels here on YouTube, and they're just always speaking about the benefits of going vegan or having a plant-based diet and reducing the amount of animal products you eat. So one other thing I've noticed is that during the only constant thing about me getting a migraine, like the one thing that I can count on of a migraine attack, is during my period. So whenever I get my period, I will get a migraine attack. And the reason for that being is the fluctuation in hormones. So I'm very, very, very sensitive to fluctuations in hormones. And when I got on birth control and I got off birth control, oh my god, my migraines were the worst ever. Like, it was the worst experience ever, because I was like on migraine like marathon for like 10 days each. So realize that, you know, my migraines happen because of hormone fluctuations, and maybe when I eat meat, you know, the animal's hormones or whatever kind of thing, you know, impacts my hormones because I'm very sensitive. All these little things kind of started to go together. So I was very desperate. I really didn't want to go on a lot of medications that my neurologist had prescribed. He told me to, he wanted me to take an anti-seizure medicine, and I just wasn't a fan of that. I don't really like to be medicated. I hate taking medicines. I never took Accutane. I know a lot of people say like, oh, take Accutane for your acne, and if I had taken Accutane, I probably wouldn't have acne scars, to be honest, but I don't know, I'm not about that life. Like, I don't know. I just feel like these drugs are so new, you don't know what's gonna happen in the long term. And you never know what kind of lobbyists are behind pushing a drug to get FDA approved and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I just felt like I am not going to take a drug for cosmetic effect. And also for my migraine, I felt like, well, it's just masking the symptoms of my migraine. It's not really actually, you know, cutting out what is going on. And this is the thing about Western medicine that I'm not a huge fan of, or even like skincare. I think it has to do with skincare, right? They're kind of related. It's kind of like you have a running sink, right? A running faucet, and all you're doing is buying a better mop to mop the floor instead of actually like turning off the faucet. And I really wanted to find out the root problem of, you know, my health issues. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna like stop taking these drugs and go on this like new diet, right? And it's been about 2 months. So what I've done is I've completely cut out caffeine, because caffeine and alcohol are huge triggers to migraines. Caffeine, if you guys don't know, I've been addicted to coffee since I was 16, so that's been 10 years. I drink about maybe 2 cups a day, but every single day. If I miss a day, I'd get a migraine. If I missed an hour, like if I drank coffee too late in the day, I got a migraine. So I was super, super dependent on caffeine. And if you ever travel with me, I'm like a drug addict. Like when I wake up, I like need to find the coffee, or I actually bring like my own instant coffee so that way I can have some caffeine in me. So I got rid of caffeine, which was a very, very painful experience. I was super cranky. All my friends knew that I was super cranky. Caffeine and very limited alcohol. So seeing how our culture is so into alcohol, like, you know, if you want to have a social life, it's like, hey, let's grab a drink. Hey, let's, you know, get mimosas for brunch, or hey, let's go out. You know, like it's always about getting a drink, and it's just not good for you. I just don't see the positive in getting a drink. I actually don't like to drink. I don't feel like anything, like, I don't understand why people like to drink a glass of wine with pasta. Like, I just don't feel like I need to be buzzed. I don't feel like I need the calories. I'd rather eat like a piece of chocolate, right? But I did cut those out, and I have cut out meat significantly. So the thing I was really concerned about, like going vegan or calling myself vegan, is, you know, I felt like it was an all or nothing thing. Much like sometimes I feel like with religion, sometimes it's an all or nothing thing. But, you know, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. For me, someone who is a huge carnivore, like I love meat. I would eat meat all the time, like every single meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. It would be meat related, meat or animal product related. And to like completely go cold turkey, no pun intended, of not having meat, I just felt like was not realistic, right? I don't want to set myself up for failure. So I do cut out a lot of meat and a lot of animal products. Sometimes I will eat a little bit of meat. Like let's say I go to a barbecue or I go to a dinner and someone wants me to try their pot roast. I will try it and I will have a little bit, but I don't have a full like on steak that I used to, right? I try to not eat burgers, which I love, and I just really try to cut it out. I will maybe have like a small like In-N-Out burger once a month or whatever, but other than that, it's really no meat for me. I do eat fish and sashimi and sushi, but I am going to try to cut that down in the next stage. And I've completely cut out milk and like yogurt and things like that. So yeah, I've cut out that. And what's interesting is when you cut out that and then you cut out white foods, white refined flours, and you cut out processed foods, there's really nothing left to eat. Like you cut everything out and you have so much space, and it's like, what do you do with that void? Well, you just eat plant-based foods. You eat carrots, you eat sweet potatoes, you eat broccoli, you eat smoothies, you eat you know, quinoa, you eat like soy chicken burgers, things like that. So you do have a lot more room for putting plants in your body and all that. So I was thinking about it, and you know, it is actually pretty expensive to have this kind of diet that I've been talking about, because you don't eat processed foods. So you go to especially like vegan restaurants or vegetarian restaurants, and they're not cheap. And you know, getting a smoothie with all the stuff that you want is about like $10. So it's not a cheap lifestyle to live. But for me, I think I would rather spend it on food than on you know, possessions. I really do believe that if I invest in my body and I invest in my health, then I will be able to enjoy life to its fullest. And honestly, I'm not gonna be happy. It's not gonna make me happy to buy like, you know, really nice things or have nice things, but it's gonna make me happy to be able to be 60, 70, 80 years old and not have to go through cancer and not have to go through like all these like, you know, diseases, and be able to wake up and just feel like have so much energy in life and be so, you know, be able to do the things that I want to do with my life without having to worry about health problems. So yeah, that's kind of that. So since going on this diet, I have still had migraines. I do still get migraines. I know one of them has been triggered because I took a nap, and when I don't get enough sleep and then I sleep, like try to make up for it by taking a nap, it really messes up my head and it gives me a migraine. So that's something that triggers my migraines. And I've gotten migraines a couple other times and I'm not sure why, but it is a lot. It's significantly less. I said I had migraines about 6 times a month. Now I get about it 3 times a month, so maybe half the amount of migraines that I used to get. I don't know if that's because I cut out caffeine specifically, or alcohol specifically, or eating this plant-based diet specifically, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have a healthy lifestyle, right? So one thing I want to tell you guys, if you are trying to, you know, go through any kind of diet plan, I am also trying to lose probably 8 pounds. You know, again, as I said, I always used to be really skinny when I was younger, and I think it's just because, you know, the past 5-6 years, I don't really think about what I eat. I don't try to control myself. When I go to a buffet, I just eat everything, you know. I don't think about it. I'll eat the fried chicken, I'll eat the steak, I'll eat everything, you know. And now I need to actually think about it because I think my metabolism is also slowing down, and I just can't eat the same way I did when I was like 13 years old, you know. So I've been getting this, I highly recommend this, and I'm a huge advocate of documentation and writing things down, because this is something that I actually love to fill out. It is the Diet Minder Personal Food and Fitness Journal. And so this really keeps me on track. You know, having this plant-based diet, you really have to make sure that you're getting all your nutrients in. But it's really amazing because I'll show you a day. Each day, focusing, but each day it has like you have a whole 2 pages for one day's worth. So you have food or beverage, and then you have breakfast, calories, fat, grams, carbs, fiber, protein, and then breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, do the math, vitamins and physical activities, and how many glasses of water you drink. I think this is so great because you can actually document every single thing you put in your mouth, and when you get migraines or when you get headaches or when you feel sluggish, or be able to control your energy levels. I love, love, love this. So I'll just like give you an example. Let's see. Let's go a good day. This day, I just like write about like everything. So, you know, for food, for breakfast I had some rice noodles, green beans. Lunch I had almonds, eggplant, and brown rice. Snack I had a half a serving of nachos at the OC Fair. For dinner I had a Subway veggie sandwich with no cheese. And what I did the day was I walked all around the OC Fair. And I mentioned that I felt dehydrated because it was so hot, and I don't think I drank enough water. And I also missed, like, my meals were not spaced close together. They were very far apart, so I might have had low blood sugar. But then I sometimes will mark if I get a migraine, and then I write everything that I did that day and try to figure out like if there is a pattern or a trigger to that. And then also it has like starting weight and the time you weigh yourself, so you can keep track of how much you weigh and all that. So I'm really excited to do this and to share my journey with you guys because, oh, I forgot to write this out. Share this journey with you guys because, you know, I'm like human and I'm not perfect, and for whatever reason I am not at, I guess, the ideal body and weight that I want to be at. I do want to lose maybe like 7 pounds. That would be a great goal for me. But I want to make it sustainable, and I want to make it health-based, not vanity-based. So I think really trying to follow this plant-based diet will help me with that. So let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if it has helped you or not. I really feel like my channel will kind of go towards more of health and nutrition based. I do a lot of TMI, you know, Tuesdays, and I do a lot of Draw My Life. And it's because for me it's really interesting to see how everything works in your body. And so I do feel like my niche in my channel is going to be more towards health and nutrition and body stuff. So I probably will do a Draw My Life about vegan and maybe just things more relating to nutrition and vegan lunch ideas or vegan snacks, because that is a lifestyle that I am adopting. I still do work out, but it's not very strenuous anymore. I found that before, when I worked out, I'd be super hungry and I'd eat so much chicken that I just felt like, oh my god, too much meat. So I do work out, but you know what I do now is I just bring on my iPad and watch YouTube and just walk quietly on the treadmill for about 45 minutes, and that's it. And I think that's a really good exercise, like light walking, walking. Instead of just like wearing myself out, you know, I just felt like when I used to work out, I would wear myself out so much. It would compensate for that lack of energy by eating so much and drinking so much coffee. That's really what I did before. I didn't really listen to my body, you know. I would work out even if I was in pain, even if I was sore, even if I didn't feel like, even if I just didn't feel like working out, because I'm like that. I'm very much like all or nothing person, and when I set my mind to something, I accomplish things, but my body was trying to tell me to stop, and I kept doing it, and I think it wreaked havoc on my body. So it's very important to listen to your body and not like overwork it out or whatever. And I think nutrition, especially for diet, I think nutrition is like 70 or 80% of your weight loss goals, and then exercise is like, you know, it's like icing on the cake, but you know, you really need to make sure the stuff you're eating is good and clean. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what kind of ideas you have for other video topics about nutrition or vegan lifestyle or plant-based lifestyle. I might just like, maybe what I'll do is like, I'll have like a vegetable and I'll just talk about all the benefits of the vegetable, or you know, or like maybe things like how your intestine processes foods, things like that, because I'm actually super curious on how that works, and it'll help you maintain a long, happy, healthy life. So thank you all so much for watching. I miss you guys so much, and let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see. Talk to you guys later. Bye!